Welcome to today's Explainer. We're diving straight into a society from 2500 BCE that completely shatters our expectations of the ancient world. I mean, they weren't just barely surviving out there, they were literally building urban environments with engineering that closely mirrors our modern cities today. It's absolutely fascinating.
Now, to really wrap our heads around how sophisticated these people were, I want you to imagine something wild. What if we took a citizen from an ancient city like Mohenjo-Daro and dropped them directly into a bustling modern metropolis in 2026? You'd probably expect them to be totally disoriented, right? But surprisingly, there's a core piece of our modern infrastructure that wouldn't shock them at all.
Believe it or not, they would instantly recognize our modern drainage systems. I'm serious. If our ancient time traveler looked down at our street storm drains and sewer grates, they'd actually feel right at home. Because 4,500 years ago, their cities were already built on the exact same fundamental concepts of wastewater management.
So here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to cover 1. Ancient smart cities. 2. The urban master plan. 3. A massive organized empire. 4. Unsolved historical mysteries. And finally, 5. Lessons from the Indus. Let's get right into it.
Starting off with Section 1, Ancient Smart Cities.
You know, when we hear the phrase smart city today, our minds immediately jump to tech and sensors. But true urban intelligence, that begins with planning. Picture this. Back in 2500 BCE, the global norm was just small, scattered rural villages, and that's how most of the world lived. But over in the Indus Valley, the reality was these incredibly advanced, meticulously planned urban centers. They were designing massive cities quite literally from the ground up.
Which brings us right into Section 2, the urban master plan.
Let's actually walk through how this systematic sanitation flowed, because it's mind-blowing for the time. Step 1, private baths. Get this, almost every single home had its own designated bathing area. Step 2, street drains. The water flowed straight from these homes into a connected network of drains running along the main roads. And Step 3, they had a highly engineered systematic disposal system designed to carry all that wastewater completely out of the city.
And their master plan definitely didn't stop at just plumbing. They laid out incredibly straight roads, used precise grid pattern layouts. Honestly, it's a lot like modern Manhattan, and they built everything using standardized baked bricks. Now think about that for a second. Having a standard brick size across an entire civilization requires a phenomenally strong administration to actually enforce that consistency across countless different building sites.
Moving on to Section 3, a massive organized empire.
To really grasp the jaw-dropping scale of what we're talking about here, just look at this number, 1.2 million. That's 1.2 million square kilometers. Spanning across parts of modern-day India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, this was easily one of the most expansive and massive civilizations of its entire era.
Now, keeping an empire of that size running smoothly, that requires some seriously rigorous systems, and they had them. They relied on standardized weights and measures to make sure trade was completely equal across hundreds of miles. They also used these beautifully crafted seals to officially mark their goods, operating a highly regulated, well-organized network of merchants and builders. That leads us right to Section 4, Unsolved Historical Mysteries.
So, the single biggest frustration for researchers today lies with the Harappan script. You see it carved on those beautifully crafted seals we just talked about, but here's the kicker. It is a completely undeciphered written language. Despite recovering literally thousands of examples, we still don't know their names, we don't know their gods, and we don't even know what they actually called themselves.
And that huge mystery feeds into a much darker question. How does a highly advanced, massively organized civilization just suddenly vanish? Because that's what happened. These booming, bustling smart cities were just abandoned, and their entire culture seemingly collapsed overnight.
Scientists and historians have thrown out a few major theories for this collapse. Was it shifting river courses that destroyed their agriculture? Maybe severe climate change, or a prolonged, devastating drought? Or perhaps a massive decline in trade? Honestly, it might have been a combination of all of these, but the exact definitive reason for their downfall remains a stubborn, completely unsolved puzzle.
Which brings us to our final stop, Section 5, Lessons from the Indus.
Cleanliness, planning, and standardization make a society great. That's really the big takeaway here. The Harappans proved that humanity actually had a working formula for a healthy, incredibly expansive society thousands of years ago. They fundamentally understood that standardizing the small things is exactly what allows you to build massive, enduring infrastructure.
As we're out here building our own interconnected smart cities today, it leaves us with a pretty wild, lingering thought. What exactly will future civilizations find buried under our modern cities, say 4,500 years from now? Will they be able to decipher our hard drives? Will they marvel at our infrastructure? Or will they sit around wondering why we collapsed? The echoes of the Indus Valley are this perfect reminder that while our technology changes, the foundations of a truly great society remain exactly the same. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I'll see you next time.